Local adjustments, including control points, which originated in the Nik collection, are one of the standout masking tools of DxO PhotoLab. Before we get into the newest local adjustment in PhotoLab 8, the Hue Mask, let's have a quick look at control points and control lines on this image. There's a lot that I can do to enhance this photo, and I'm going to start by enhancing the sun that's peeking out from behind these flowers. I'll go to my local adjustments, grab a control point, and drop it right in the middle of the sun. I'll make that a little bit bigger, and we can see already that it has done a great job of selecting just the sun behind the flowers. But to really verify that, we can switch from the color overlay mode to the black and white mode, which shows us very clearly what's been selected. Maybe I'll make this just a little bit bigger. Now let's go ahead and make some changes to that. I'll start by taking the color temperature and making it a bit warmer. Maybe increasing the saturation just a little bit. And also dropping the exposure. Colors tend to be a bit richer when they're a bit darker. That's a good start. Next, I want to play with the sky. The sky over here is looking a little bit faded and light, so I think I'll darken it and saturate it. And to do that, I'll use a control line. I want to make sure that I'm creating a new local adjustment, so I'll go ahead and click the plus button here, which simply deselects everything up here to ensure that anything I do next will be creating a new local adjustment. The control line acts just like a control point, except of course that it's linear. I'll drag that down to select the area, and if I switch back over to the black and white mask mode, you can see that that is a linear gradient based off of this selection under this eyedropper. If I move this up to the blue sky, then we should see that it will select the blue sky more and less of the clouds. It is still selecting a little bit too much of the flower here, so I'm going to restrict the selection by going to the mask selectivity slider and dragging the chroma up and down until I find just the right range to select just the sky. That's looking pretty good. So now let's go ahead and make some changes to it. I'll take the saturation up a bit and take the exposure down. Now it's time to adjust the flowers. Of course, there are pink flowers all over this scene, so dozens of control points and certainly manual mask brushing are not ideal approaches. This is a photo where the new Hue Mask can be helpful, which, as the name implies, allows me to create a mask based on the hues or colors in the image. Check it out. I'll start by once again ensuring that I'm creating a new mask by clicking on the plus button here, and then I'll grab the new Hue Mask tool and just drop that anywhere on one of these pink flowers. As before, we see the mask that's been selected, but if you want to make it even more clear, you can switch over to the black and white mode. From here, I definitely need to expand this range out a little bit. With the Hue Mask, you do that by changing the hue selection range on this bar here. I can expand this out to select more and more of that purple and pink range in colors, and I can feather that out by grabbing the bottom arrows here. If I want to, I can also make changes numerically by going into this dialog and either clicking up and down or even punching in a number. I'll make that a little bit bigger, and I think we're pretty good. Now let's make a change. I think the exposure on these pink flowers could be a little bit brighter, so let's lighten those up a little bit. And I'll probably bring the saturation on those up a little bit as well. This color saturation and brightening works quite well for the flowers that are sticking up here where the sun would be hitting them, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for this flower down here in the shade or even this one over here. One of the advantages of working with the Hue Mask is that I can alter it. I can go in here with a brush tool and paint in or out parts of that mask even after I've selected ranges of hue, like this. I'll show the masks again in black and white mode. Go over here and grab the eraser, and then simply brush over the part of the flower that I don't want to have selected. Done. Now if we hide the masks, it looks a bit more realistic. I want to do the same thing for the green leaves down here. So once again, I'll create a new mask, grab the new Hue Mask tool, click on a green leaf, maybe restrict that down a bit, and then pull the exposure up of those leaves. Look at that beautiful backlighting effect. Once again, we have part of the leaves here that don't make sense to get lit up. Primarily, if we look at the masks, this area here and over here. So once again, I'll grab the eraser tool and just get rid of those spots. Let's soften that and erase all of this. I'll get these spots up here as well. Now the image looks great. It's certainly off to a great start, and if we compare it to the original, we can see a massive, massive difference between the two.